All right. Well, thank you everyone for coming today. This is Open Studio, our monthly gathering to connect with systems thinking and topics that center on systems thinking. Today is a very special day. We have Patricio Chacana. He is currently in our AFC cohort. And he might share a bit about that experience as he goes through his presentation. We are straying into a really exciting area, slightly different than some of our other topics that revolve around K-12 education and nonprofits. We're going to talk about the industrial sector and safety and building culture. So it's a cool new perspective for us to explore with Patricio. So we're lucky to have him guide us through this morning. So I'm going to turn it over to Patricio to present to us about mining through a lens of systems.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dave. Thank you very much. Everyone is connected here. I'm really happy to have this opportunity to share my experience with the system thinking too, and with a bit of my professional life in these 28 years I've been in mining. And to do that, I will start with a simple slide where I want to share why I'm here. First of all, why I'm here, why I'm in this situation, how can I get to the water center, and how it relates with myself. And well, first of all, who is Patricio Chacana? I'm Chilean now. I'm doing this presentation from Chile. I started in this AFC course in May because I always got some relation with the system thinking. First of all, I'm married to Cecilia. She's in Spain now with my kids, with my twins, our twins, Rafael and Nicolas. I'm a chemical engineer with 28 years of experience in mining, working in 3 countries, in Chile, in Spain, and in Canada. I'm passionate for people and learning. I was connected with system thinking during my university years. And I know taking an AFC program with the Water Center, where my curiosity and my learning and the patience of a great cohort and teachers I've been in these months has been really a very nice experience to connect many things of my life, my professional life. And you will see in the next slides a kind of back calculation, how the system thinking has been connected with what is mining and my professional experience. And I will go deep in one of the beautiful experience I got the last 4 years in Spain. I started now a new role in Chile, but before this, few days ago, I was 4 years in Spain with a great team, and I got the opportunity to discuss with them about system thinking, to work together in many challenges, and I will share that to you. So I want to do a reflection and comments and use of some of the tools of system thinking and how that can help to our people, to our teams, to relate in a better way with the challenges they face every day. So an open question, and here is the chat if you want to reflect. Why do we need mining? Why do we need mining? I read even facing some challenges in some places, some graffitis even, no more mining. But why do we need mining? Where is mining in our life? Say to reach resources. Good question, good point, Natalie. If somebody else want to write something, but why do we need it? Still in a take-make dispose economy, where most of our materials are disposed and not recovered. We need resource for new products. That's a point, a very important point. I mean, the recycling is a crucial point for mining. But this meeting happens thanks to mining, because the computers, whatever, look around your offices, look around where you are, everything around you has been mined or has been grown. The glasses of this building, the glasses come from silica mines. The table I have here has a metal structure. This tool that has been very essential for our lives has many metals into. So mining is all around our life, and it's very, very important. And being as oil extractions can be part of mining too. Can be is a very good question, because whatever join us, surround us, has been mined or has been grown up. Everything that is around us has been mined or grown up. But looking forward, if we say two of the big challenges of the world, of the society, global warming, to feed 10 billion persons. All the estimations of UN and other organizations shows that in the next years, sometimes some people say 2050, 2070, we will reach a peak of around 10 billion persons. So how do we manage those challenges? And we need food, we need energy for our modern life. I used to work in potash up to last weekend in Spain during 4 years, and potash feeds the world. And to electrify the world, we need copper, we need nickel, we need lithium to enable all the energy transition that is happening in all the world. So what are the main mining challenges? And part of the challenges came in the note regarding recycling, for example, regarding the impacts mining has. Like every industry, mining has impacts. Impacts in footprint, water consumption, waste, and here is a great comment I read it now. Mining is closely tied to geopolitics. Absolutely. It's a crucial point. And it's one of the main challenges as well. That the distribution of these resources is not equal around the world. Even in the country now, in Chile supply 30% of the world copper. 30%, a third of the copper from the world comes from Chile. So it's not equally distributed, all the metals around the world. So there are many challenges: environmental, social, geopolitical. Any other comment, please put it there. But I want to refer to some of them, and one of them is the footprint. And I use here a phrase of a very important executive of mine, Marco Tifani, that I got the honor to work with him in one of my previous jobs. And he put a statement here that we can debate, but he's putting here regarding the footprint. How much area of our land is affected by mining? And another point that he point here is what percentage of the economy is enabled by mining. And he's pointing here that 45% of the world's economy activity, directly or indirectly, is driven by mining. So more or less the half of the GDP of the world is enabled by the mining activity. And the impact of the habitable land is 0.04%. So it's interesting figures. Now, this is very global, but when you go to the local communities where we do mining, probably they feel the opposite. they feel very, very different, in a very different way. When you have mining activity, people can feel that probably mining affects the 45% of the land.
Of which we
Or the value
okay.
is very low. So I think that's a relevant discussion. And the other one, for example, is water. In water, I put in the left the water consumption by industries of Chile. And I use Chile because it's a very mining country. And in Chile, 3%, sorry for the text is in Spanish, 3% of the water available of the country is used in mining, while the agricultural sector uses 82%. But again, the local impact is very relevant. Where mining operates, and in Chile in particular, where mining operates in very demanding water areas with a lot of scarcity of water, where the water is very scarce. So even if that 3% can be huge when you are in an area of scarcity. I love avocados, and I learned how much water consumed. So the footprint of some of our activities is huge. I put here the example of potash because that was to balance with the potash production we do here in Spain, and other activities like beef, chocolates are very, very intense in water. Okay, so our footprint in water comes from what we consume in total. And it's very interesting to put that in perspective. Well, looking forward for the future, mining is looking new frontiers. It's looking new frontiers, even under the sea is happening. In the space is happening. Part of the rockets that goes to the space to see, they are going to explore metals in the moon, in some asteroids, everywhere. So it's part of it. Evidently, the circular mining is huge part, and it was in the comments before. The waterless mining, how we do mining without water. And I think looking for leverage points, using the language of the operating of the system thinking is a great point. Great engineering, how you concentrate the ore to reduce the ore utilization and improve the impact, the space under the sea, and invisible mining, not with the sense of hiding, with the sense to reduce or eliminate the impact. Because all of us need and enjoy the benefits of mining, but we don't want and we don't like the impacts. So at the end of our life without mining, it doesn't exist. We need mining for life, but we need to do more sustainable. We do it in a better way, reduce our impacts. We need to reinforce more the circular economy to do more rational, definitely, because we are talking about limited resources, not infinite resources. But mining is about future, it's about life. We need to attract people to mining too. That is a challenge in many countries, where we struggle to attract people to mining because it's understood as a business of the past, that in the future it won't be needed. And it's the opposite. We need in the future mining. We need to do better mining. That's the challenge. So it's a very complex system. And here is where I will start to connect with the system thinking's application now. Going to mining and the system thinking's application. So how come I can connect with the system thinking world? I will show some of the tools that I learned in this course, and I will project it to many of the challenges and the typical challenges you face in the mine. And a wonderful tool I learned in this course are these cards that I lucky here to have the physical ones. But in the chat, there is a link where you will have the opportunity to see it and explore. And it definitely, please make it your own resource. It's really a very powerful tool, and I will show later why, and with different situations. So why system thinking? Why is relevant system thinking? So mining is technical. It's a lot of people, human, it's environmental and economic systems that are very complex. The linear thinking gets us to a very short approach. Don't look in the impacts. And I think many of the problems we have created doing mining in many places has been perhaps because we didn't apply a more systemic approach, trying to solve short-term issues more than long-term issues. And we need to do this as a sustainable business. So I will start going to an area that in the industrial environments is crucial, that is about safety. And one of the key elements in mining is to manage the safety, and it's a big challenge because we have people in one side, and in the other side we have huge energies. So for that reason, and it's one of the old stories of the bad stories of the mining, that has been an industry that creates for many years many accidents, even fatal ones. And that is a point that definitely has affected the reputation of the industry and the social license, even from our business. And with all of that, the effort and the evolution mining has done has been huge, and use many systems and tools to manage in a proper way the safety and health. So revisiting and training in the basis of system thinking to all the people that is working in mining, and looking in my 28 years, how this has been evolved, I would say having this kind of tools from the very beginning, probably in my experience, many of the situations we have faced, probably we have improved a lot. Because thinking in this way looks beyond events to patterns and structures, examines the mental models influencing the behavior, reveal leverage points for true prevention, and a phrase that comes from the core of system thinking that I really love, that the real causes of an accident are far away in time and space from the accident. And many times we do the opposite. We have an accident and we do a zoom in the areas of the accident instead of look in time and space where really this accident came from. So just to reinforce what I'm saying, how the system thinking connects with safety, I'm using here something that is the human and organizational performance that was one of the most modern frameworks to work the safety in industrial environments. This framework that his purpose is to drive a new culture. And we're talking out here, one of the top trends in safety in industrial trends. Let's read the 5 principles that based on. People make mistakes. Let's start with that as a basic. There is no more human thing that do mistakes. Blame fix nothing. Looks this one. Context drives behavior. Context drives behavior is one of the fundamentals of the system thinking. Learning is vital. Learning is vital. And response matters. That is about the leadership that we need to put in the organizations to improve the safety. I share this experiment with my cohort, with my team, where I show this photography. And using these wonderful tools, we analyze what happened. Just with that image, what happened? Nothing else than what happened. With the team, we got this 14 system thinking habits from change over time, circular nature, consider an issue fully and testing the urge to come to a quick decision, recognize that system structure generates this behavior. The 14 wonderful behaviors. We did an exercise that the exercise was based on, in this photo, that is a home accident. What should be the questions that we should ask to understand better the situation? And I think here is something that is a real pillar when we lead organizations, when we work in organizations to understand better the challenges we need to face, is how come we do the right question? How come we improve the quality of our questions? The quality of our questions define many of the things we can achieve with a team. And with these tools, the quality of our question really improves. Here I have 14 cards, and you can see in the link, you can click it and see the opposite side. In every card, you have 3 or 4 questions, more or less. So you have 60 questions that can help you to drive better understanding of this kind of accidents. And if, for example, I can zoom in one part, I want to read some of them that came from my team of cohorts that is listening this activity, and you see the quality of the questions. It's wonderful, wonderful. Better questions go to better outcomes, and you start to see what will this behavior continue as the child grows up. What might cause the child to continue reaching for that pot? You go through those. You go to a point that, for example, blame doesn't show up. And that's something fantastic. That creates a different dynamic in the teams when faced challenges. Because the finger pointing, the blaming many times comes when you are facing situations in that kind of things. So in an informed investigation prompt, what structures influence the accident? What mental models shape other behavior? What unintended consequences have arisen from safety strategies? These questions guide better investigations and prevention. And with a different approach, you complement what current systems support, increasing understanding. So there is a focus in understanding.
Patricio, you have a question for the exercise where the habits clustered in a particular way.
No, they were not in a particular way. I think in the exercise we did, and then I tested with one of my operation teams, is put the focus in what questions you need to do to have a better understanding of the situation. And we use the cards as inspiration to connect with the kind of question we need to do. So I think that's a crucial point. Don't go to conclusions. Don't go too fast to the conclusion. Put your focus in understand, and increase your understanding in even what questions will help to your understanding, even a step before that going directly to understand and the solution. That is normally our more common way of thinking. Understand, conclusion. Yeah. So this kind of reflection in a team helps to go a step behind and enrich the quality of the conversation. Okay. So if I go to the next one. Okay. archetypes. Archetypes, I want to confess something. It's not so sexy. It's a bit complex because you start to see these blocks, these diagrams, seems so complicated. At the beginning, there are some basic ones, but for the people here is connected or have some background in system thinking, can you write, please? Do you know some of those archetypes? What are you talking about? So if you can write one, some of them from the most basic ones. So together with the habits, we have the archetypes. Fix the backfire. Reach to riches is an interesting one. Fantastic. Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Noah, for those ones. The tragedy of the commons. Okay, wonderful. I won't go through all of them, but I want to explain some of them and connect it with typical situations you face in industrial environment. I want to thanks again to my former team in Spain, Iber Potage, because I used many of the photos of them. You see the industrial environment of the photos. Where are those photos from? From the Spain operation in Catalonia, Syria, where I used to work there for 4 years with a lovely team. So here is shifting the burden in plant maintenance. This is typical, and it happens not all the time and not in all the place, but happens sometimes sometimes in some places, everywhere. Being 28 years in mining and knowing many people has been worked on it, is how we go in a linear approach to solve temporary fixes when we face operational problems or increase manual oversight. We have a problem, a breakdown that produces interruptions in a plant that doesn't permit us to reach the goals we define. And this restores a shortening stability, but creates a lot of dependence in quick fixes. And this is sometimes is a kind of a snowball effect that doesn't give us the time to think and to discuss or to go deeper to even what are the questions again to understand deeper the situation, to redefine preventive maintenance or process redesign that normally are postponed because of this quick fix, or because you are doing a quick fix here and then another problem show up in another point, your attention goes to another place and you maintain that situation on the time. Here is another one, accidental adversaries story. Extractors of bonuses. There are many bonuses in industrial environments. And when you have bonuses that are related with the chief performance, and you have crews in different chiefs, and these crews compete for that. How they often this creates competition and create accidental adversaries into the same organization that has the same focus theoretically and the same target, and creates a lot of problems between them. You don't tackle the fundamental problem. And sadly, that happens in many experiences in the life. So thanks for that comment as well for Noah. Another example here is the repression and revolution. And repression and revolution, I was recently explaining you the modern approach from safety. Sadly, this has been evolved for many years. And in 28 years, I see many levels of maturity in many organizations. And when you apply in some organizations, strict penalties of public blame, and you create a false sense of compliance, the informal resistance grows. And instead of improving safety, in the long term, you're creating a problem that make it worse. So when I saw and I learned this archetype, came this reality I faced in some of my stage in my life, and instead of learn about incidents and deviations, that's the right direction, the right thing to do, not blame, encourage people to report even minor things. That is information that helps you to improve across the time. Okay, and the other one is drifting course story. When you put a very high target, you're not able to reach it, then you reduce it, you slightly improve, or you're not able to reach it again, and you again adjust, and then you reach a false sense of compliance that instead of drive the right level of challenge and improvement, you adjust the goals to the reality you are facing, not producing the right level of improvement in the organization. So to put targets in an organization is really an art. Between put very hard targets that are unachievable, that doesn't mobilize, or very soft one where you see everything green, everybody is happy, but you're not improving. So there is a middle point in between that is a kind of art to put a challenging target that really mobilizes and creates a sense of continuous improvement, that when it doesn't happen, the distant goals story is very visible. Okay, I will go doing a zoom in with my experience the last years in Iber Potash. Iber Potash is a potash mine. Potash is the basis of fertilizers. And here I will share some examples where the applications of the system thinking and the habit cards were applicable. These photos are from the site in Catalonia. The plant and the mine is there. What you see in the bottoms are the elevators to go down 800 meters every day to mine 24/7 in the very deep part of our land, getting the resources to feed the world. So sorry, I wanna. We did a strategy of work where we put a pillar safety, how we reduce our footprint, how we improve our water management, how we reach some level of production in some years, cost, design a sustainable organization, how we attract, retain, develop people, how we incorporate technology to drive value. This can be a framework for many businesses. So the exercise I want to share with you here is from the 14 habits. One of these habits could be better fit for this kind of discussions. So I put these three. If you want to add another one, please put it in the chat. From here to the end of the presentation, I will do the same exercise. So have close to your hands the habits cards. But here I put the time delays. That is very important. The actions you are creating, doing today will be, the effects of those actions will be seen in many years later. The mining requires very long range planning. A life of mine plan in a typical mine can have 20, 30 years of planification. You are planning 20, 30 years ahead of time. So the things you don't do here is very important. I put here the big picture, definitely. In every strategy situation happens, and put there the right questions to be sure you're covering properly, and the leverage. What are the leverage actions? What are the actions that produce the bigger impact in the point? So the effect of mental models, great. Given the decision makers try to base themselves on data, and the data, when you're looking such long terms scope of time, sometimes the data you have today is not relevant in 5, 10 years. So then it's better to go to another kind of aggregation. So thanks for that comment. People, how you drive the Carta to a new stage, how you move the organization to the new challenges. So here we put a lot of effort in the years we were in Iberpotash, changing the culture, how we put the continuous improvement mindset, the safety, the collaboration, how we move from reactive to proactive, doing the right work at the right time, a lot about planning and scheduling, and how we drive the team for excellence. And in a base, I put here a big bridge of internal communications, how you use the communication just not to share data. Communication is a strategic piece of transformation. It's a strategic piece of transformation, and we need to be very aware of that. Here I put many habits, test assumptions, doing the meaningful connections, change perspectives with people. I think the empathy, I will call that car like the empathy car. And the drawing is very empathetic. Put in the shoes of other, what they are seeing and I'm not seeing. I think in the people part is very essential. Well, the results we got produce a lot of pride to the team, and I want to express my pride and honor of being part of that team that produced such changes, reducing the safety indicators, improving the safety of the team, reducing the indicators a lot. In the case of IR, 50%, in the case of severity rate, 5 times, increasing production more than 30% at the same time, through a process where the questioning of we were doing and the transformation was crucial. And again, doing the right questions can frame and improve this process. We did it. We didn't have these tools 100% available in part of the time we did it, but the questions came from the common sense, from the practice of the history, from our love for system thinking in the long term. But again, this kind of tools accelerate these dynamics. And then a wonderful achievement was our footprint in water was reduced at 50%. At 50% in 3 years. The fresh water reduction was huge. The scarcity of water in Spain is an issue. We were facing big droughts. So do that at the same time, doing the right questions is essential. Well, to finalize, a change of over time and an operation that in less than 5 years increased the production in 60% require a lot of questioning, a lot of review, modeling, discussions, collaboration. So in that context, tools like these ones, to have in your hands, in your habits, better questions, better discussions, improve the quality even in the very short term is crucial. I'm not an expert in neuroscience, but I know that when you do questions, you help people to create new connections in the brain. That is a neuroplasticity, I think is the name, David, something like that. So better questions creates better connections in our brains. So creates a space of collaboration and great environment as well. Thanks, Sarah, for the comment. Thank you very much. But is this just about production? Is this just about technical things? Is this just about mining and big machinery and all that is around mining? It's mainly about people. Let me share with you, is there a space for system thinking in leadership? Here I put my personal declaration, what I understand from leadership, and I will explain 3-4 slides, and that will be my end of history in this presentation. And I will start with a short video. And I put here one of the main challenges I face in many organizations is how you create accountability and how we increase that accountability and improve the accountability in all the levels of organization. So I found this fantastic video. I hope you can listen. If I did the right sharing, let's finger crossed, please. It's 1 minute video from a person I hope everyone knows, Mr. Obama. Let's go with the video.
Just learn how to get stuff done.
It's not listen.
And what I mean by that is,
no. Yes, it's listening. Yes, David. Okay, I will put it again.
Yes, you're all good.
just learn how to get stuff done. And what I mean by that is, I've seen at every level people who are very good at describing problems, people who are very sophisticated in explaining why something went wrong or why something can't get fixed. But what I'm always looking for is, no matter how small the problem or how big it is, somebody who says, let me take care of that. If you project an attitude of whatever it is that's needed, I can handle it and I can do it, whoever's running that organization will notice, I promise. And which is why I think with young people, you don't always need to be so impatient asking for the plum assignment. A lot of times the best way to get attention is whatever is assigned to you, you are just nailing. You're killing it, because people will notice, oh, that's somebody who can get something done.
So it's a very powerful and wonderful video. I love to support the development of people, and I was with doing mentoring to a young professional that she's working in the environment of IT, and she was doing an application. And she told me that the GM faced to her to say why this application is not working. And her initial approach was, it's not my fault, it's somebody else's work, it's not this. And I gave her feedback. I said, please see this video. See this video. And she said, wow, I should do it differently next time. I should do it next time differently. Really, really very powerful. And to encourage the accountability, I put here two cards. I put recognize that the system structure generates the behavior, because many times the structures we have doesn't generate the right accountability. We generate in some system inverse delegation, escalate decisions up, and that's something we need to check. Or in the mental models, somebody mentioned that before. Is a great car.
Just learn.
Here I put one that is from my own. This equation, very simple. I say control plus influence is equal 1. Control plus influence is equal 1. And 1 is things happen. Things happen from both. The most important one is influence, because control is very relative. So something we need to learn in all the environments is how we influence. So I've been honored to lead big organizations, and sometimes people think you have all the control. For that reason, you can make things to work because you are in the top of the organization. That's true with respect to the organization, but when I go to a community or when I join in a meeting with the mayor of the city where we operate, my level of control is 0. And I need to play the game with influence. And in influence, the mental models is a great tool to understand and understand what is thinking this person and why this person is thinking what is thinking, where it comes from, and generate the right level of conversations and discussion. Sorry. This wonderful painting from Raphael reflect the school of Athens. something that is unique in the history of the world. Well, we got one of the big thinkers of our society, one of the pillars of our society, the thinking of Socrates, that we know through Platon, and question everything. The unexamined life is not worth living. And I strongly believe on that. And for that reason, I think this is worth because it helps me and helps others to do more questions and even go beyond our thinking. Why do I think what I'm thinking? Well, even behind that, and connect that with our mental models, and connect that and test our assumptions, and do the proper connections. Who knows this person? Who knows this guy? Who is him? You know him? Can somebody write there? Nobody? No? It's a sir. Banderas? No, it's no Banderas. No. It's Sir Ernest Shackleton. It's one of the explorers of the South Pole, which his intention was to cross the Antarctic, and he was not able to do it. He was not able to do it, but when he started his mission, he posted this in the newspaper. Well, more than a century ago, male-centered society, say men wanted, which for persons now, for a hazardous journey, for a small wage, for a bitter cold, for long months of complete darkness, constant danger, safe return doubtful, honor and recognitions in case of success. So probably we adapt that for the current life, and we post this job post, probably we won't find so much people interested in such a work. But in that case, we're many. And I think that is something very relevant. Thanks, Ross, for the entrance, Amanda. I think how we give a higher sense of the work, a mission, a purpose to the people that work with us. I think today societies in many parts of the world are in a kind of crisis, even questioning our gregarious nature and being more individualistic sometimes. And I think by essence, people is gregarious. People need to be together with others. People want and love to collaborate and do good things. So have the chance to work together for something grateful is something that makes sense in the life of the people. And I think the mission of all of us that have the honor to lead teams is make the work a purposeful place for everyone. No job, something to receive a pay slip at the end of the month. That's not relevant. That is not something you will share with your grandchildren. You will share that you change the world in a positive way. Make that happen. In every place you work, in every organization you work. Make a purposeful place to work, all of them. So as a final thoughts, the mining is essential for life and a very complex business. Its multiple complexities requires achieving the way we think. We need to think differently. I learned once that if you want to have wonderful results, you need to have wonderful actions. And to have wonderful actions, the first step is to have wonderful thinking. So wonderful thinking will do wonderful things, and wonderful things will do wonderful results. So let's help the people to think better. Let's give tools to the people to reflect and think and open options and work in a different way. So that the chief that should goes in the way we manage, in the way we live businesses, and bring system thinking tool training and language, because system thinking is like to learn a new language. Fits properly in this essential and complex business, helping people to understand and communicate better the multiple challenges they are facing every day. And with that words, I want to say thanks to everyone for your attention, for your questions, your interaction. And I think, David, we have some minutes. If somebody wants to do any comment or any question, please do it.
Yeah, if anyone would like to put a question in the chat, or if you'd like to unmute and ask Patricio a question, please feel free to do that. If not, I have a question that I can pose to him. So, but we'd love to hear your questions first. All right, I'll pose a question to you, Patricio. Um, would you recommend sharing the habits directly with people? How have you thought about, if you haven't been able to start using them with teams, have you thought about how you will use them moving forward?
I I want to start to introduce that. I did it with my previous team. They really enjoyed that. And I think together with that, it requires some level of training too. Some level of training to put in context, training and practice, because our habits. And the secret of a habit is the practice and practice and practice up to you acquire that in your basics. So I recall, for example, some tips on Cherry, how you put one habit per week or something like that you do regularly. And after a while, you will incorporate that as your regular way to interact with people. And this is not just for leaders. This is for all the organization, for all the people. I think it's a tool that enables the way we work and interact in all the levels of the organization. So I think there is a question in the chat.
There is, Sarah asked, how did you approach talking about systems thinking to your colleagues in mining who didn't know about systems thinking? And then after you answered that, Jim has raised his hand to ask a question.
Yes, Jim. You're on mute, Jim.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were going to answer Sarah's question first, or we could do both and then move on.
No, I think regarding Sarah, I think we need to do a training, definitely. I think it's crucial. If we go straight to the cards, it's no word. I think it will be partial impact. I think we need to do some training and framework, Sarah. So.
Okay, well, I can ask my question. Patricio, I really enjoyed that for many reasons, but one of the reasons is that your context is just so different from mine. I work for a nonprofit, not a mining company, and my mental model of the mining industry, and it's probably wrong, but I think it was kind of reinforced by what you said, is an industry that internally might be much more hierarchical and command and control than what I would experience in my environments. And you mentioned, for example, that when you're inside the business, you might be able to affect change, but that when you go outside, that's when you need to convince. Do you feel that like even internally things are changing in a way where hierarchical command and control relationships might be more difficult than they were earlier in your career? Just wanted a reflection on that, like your internal dynamics, are those changing as well?
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's about the generations we are. I am next generation, and when you start to deal with the next generations, the millennials and others, the way they see the world is totally different, and you realize that hierarchy and control, you have missed a lot of opportunities to enrich your decisions. And people, if you want to really, and as I say before, and one of the challenges that has mining is attract. And your mental model, Jim, is right, because has been the mental model of many people that don't see mining as attractive because they think we're still in command and control. So we need to change to be more successful and sustainable. We need to change to be more attractive for bring the right people that help us to be more sustainable, and with that win more influence in society, because we did many things wrong in our history and we are doing better. But the other thing we did very bad regarding mining is explain to the society the benefits of mining. We were a bit ashamed of that. And we were a bit ashamed to say very clear, as I put it in my presentation, that mining is essential for life. Even in many places in the world, people thought that you can get rid of mining. And it was not the right thing. You cannot get rid of mining. Sorry to say, you need mining in a different way. And part of it is the way you manage, you engage your teams to make it more attractive, to bring more talented people to do mining better and more sustainable.
Thank you. Noah posed a question in the chat. Did you apply any system dynamics modeling, causal loop diagrams as thinking tools when working with Ibero Potash?
You apply for 25 hours.
Yes, we apply system dynamics modeling. We did it. So that's part of the tools we use it. But again, and I want to reinforce it, is the mining is about limited resources. The capacity of the people is infinite resources. The capacity of all the people that works with us is infinite. It's more than all the resources we have in the world. So how help them to flourish and express better ideas, better things to improve this business and the world we live.
And then let's do this. We're hitting 11 o'clock, and so that is our end time. But I can keep the room open for a few minutes because a couple of interesting questions came through from Noah and Heather that I think Patricio would like to address. So just want to say it is 11 o'clock. If people need to go, just want to extend a big thank you for being with us today for Open Studio. A recording will be made available in a follow-up email, and it is posted to our YouTube. So if this is something you'd want to share, if you're interested in other resources that the Water Center has to offer, please check out our website. Some links have been included in the chat along the way to support you, including the habits cards in other languages other than English. So we will stay on here for a couple more minutes to let Patricio answer these questions. If Noah and Heather, if you're interested, please stay on, and we'll keep the discussion going for a couple minutes. Thank you.
Okay.
Hey, Patricio, can you see those questions there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, regarding the one about the system dynamic modeling, causal loops diagrams, I think we use that a lot, for example, in when we do the root cause analysis for incidents, and in maintenance, we use it a lot, on safety as well. We train people for that. It's part of the more specific tools. And at the end, something I realized that we use many sources of training and many sources of consultants with many systems, that when you look for commonality, and I want to be very honest, you can reduce it in these 14 things. Yeah, so we do a full processing safety in other areas, but when you start joining the dots, there is a lot of commonality, and it's part of what I want to promote. This morning, I was in an integrated controls room where we're monitoring the full mine. And then, even if it was an integrated control room, I say, what is the opportunity? Integrate more. Because people needs more tools to connect dots, to integrate more things. And I think there is a lot of commonalities that we need to help the people to see it. And I think that's a critical point that we need to make it happen. The other one is the system thinking habit that organization can start using right in day-to-day work to make our process more sustainable. more sustainable. I think that's a great one. Huh? Let me think 1 second. Looking the, the the question. I think, for example, the short-term, long-term, and unintended consequence of actions. I think that's crucial. When you start to think that, and even back forward, even looking back, I was precisely this morning talking with what professional. One of the issues we're facing in the mine and running now was created in 2017. They need to start to see long trends of many variables, and they saw a huge change in 2017. So not only project what you are doing today for the future, understand what you are living today because decisions you made in the past. That I think is another way to see the same car. No, consider the short-term, long-term, unintended consequence. And it was a change. It was done in the way we did blasting in the mine that was affecting the mine today. And it was a gradual change year by year that it was not noted, but when you saw the long-term trend, it was a very difficult one. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Noah, thank you. And I think that's it.
Yeah, wonderful. All right, Patricio, thank you. Thank you again for presenting this morning. Great, great content and great thinking. For anyone on the call who isn't fully aware, Water Center, we offer workshops. We offer some products in our store to support systems thinking, along with the free resources that I've presented today. Patricio has been referencing our advanced facilitator credential course, which we are wrapping up a cohort right now, and a new cohort will launch in mid to late 2026. So if you're interested in pursuing the same course that Patricio has been talking about, we will post that coming up in the summer, and maybe someone could you could apply and be part of our cohort experience. So once again, thank you everyone for attending, and hope everyone has a great rest of your day or evening, depending on where in the world you are.